Hello friends and welcome to the Gesundheit Kitchen. My name is Hans Rufert and I am not only a board member on the Gastric Cancer Foundation's board of directors, but I am also a stomach cancer patient, gastric cancer patient. And I don't have a stomach at all, and some of you know my story, some of you may not, but I always am trying to find that outer boundary. What can I tolerate? What can I eat? And how do I get nutrition? And a great vehicle for that, a great platform is pizza. And pizza is such a great way to sneak in, even for your children. How do you sneak in new ingredients, new things that they can enjoy? And so I wanted to use today some naan, which is an Indian style flatbread, just delicious. They come in different varieties, but I have just today the basic whole wheat naan. And tomatoes can be a little difficult for some folks to digest. So I'm going to make two versions. One with a tomato sauce, and this is just a good, of course you can make your own, and we can talk about that I'm sure at some point in the future. But this is just, you find your favorite tomato sauce and you very quickly become a recipe sleuth, and you read every single ingredient and you find the one that you like the best that has the minimum ingredients. So on a basic sort of a pizza, there's my base, and on the alternate one, instead of using tomato sauce, I'm going to use a hummus. And hummus, of course, you can buy in a store, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, again, read the ingredients, but man, is this easy to make. And so I have made hummus on another segment, and so I'm sure you can find that right here on gastriccancer.org. But this is a neat way to add that bit of moisture. It's also incredibly high in protein. It's got a buttery kind of a mouthfeel to it, so that is going to be our base on our tomato-less, less acidic version of this. Now, of course, customizable in any direction you want, but where I am, I'm from Georgia, it's the peach state, and so I love peaches, but I've grilled the peaches just to kind of bring out some of their inherent sweetness. I want to get that little bit of sweetness without trying to send my glycemic index into a bit of a spike, or don't want to overload on sugars, but I've got a slightly underripe peach that was a little bit firm. Threw it on the grill for just a minute to get it kind of nice and soft, but that caramelization, that little bit of char, really adds another flavor dimension to it. So just a great way to increase the flavor and get that touch of sweetness. Anything else you want to add? I love doing the same thing with Bermuda onions, so a little bit of char on those makes them not only buttery smooth, but also puts that little bit of sweetness out. Of course, me being from Georgia, when it's Vidalia onion season, that's a great thing to use as well. It's not Vidalia, it is Vidalia. I've heard all sorts of people pronounce it all sorts of ways. Now, so again, cheese can go in any direction. I like to use a very mild cheese on something like this, and so I'm using a ricotta salata, which ricotta salata is ricotta cheese that's been essentially, all the liquid has been pressed out, and it's a kind of a dry, crumbly cheese. It's great on salads, and it doesn't melt stringy, so it's not going to be like a mozzarella that's all stringy, but it does get a little soft, and it doesn't mask these flavors. So the one additional ingredient to separate these two pizzas, back on the tomato pizza, I want to be able to get some source of a plant-based protein into that, and since I don't have the hummus on there, I'm going to go back and kind of use the founding ingredients, the base ingredients of hummus, and that's chickpeas or garbanzo beans, same thing. And these little guys are trying to roll away, but as this heats up, they'll start to kind of melt and make a nice vehicle for that. And then lastly, just a tiny drizzle of olive oil. So I don't at all want this to be greasy, but sometimes just to have that little bit of moisture on there kind of helps these things get to know each other, and just a nice little addition. And then, just for good measure, just a little crank of salt. Now, into a 375-degree oven, and let's let these guys do their thing. Looking beautiful. Perfect. Now, this is our hummus version, and we will set that right next to our slightly more traditional version. And right before we eat these things, I'm going to put just some fresh, something green. I always like having something alive on every dish. So these are just some fresh garlic chives. Put a few of those on there. And then I also have some fresh fennel, which goes excellent with peaches. Peaches and fennel are really just great bedfellows. So you don't have to use this at all, but I love having just a little bit of fresh anything on top. Little green, never hurt. Depending on where you are, you might be able to eat an entire naan, you might be able to eat half, you might only be able to eat a quarter, but don't push yourself. There's so much nutrition in both of these by having that protein element. So you've got the hummus on the one, you've got the chickpeas on the other, and this is the kind of thing that wherever you are in your recovery, in your new normal, you can make the pizza reflect that. So if it's bland and mild, then you make it bland and mild. If you are at the spectrum where you can eat something a little more exotic and fun, obviously you know your body better than I would know your body, but make it fun. Use it as a canvas and really get in there and have some fun with it. But this is a great way to make a quick, easy, fast, nutritious meal and change it up anytime you want it for whatever you're craving. I hope to see you next time in the Gesundheit kitchen. Until next time, take care of yourself and have fun.